How you doing? This is Rush Little of RPJ Kingdom. You've seen my videos, The Gospel Jazz According to Downtown Greenville. I'm currently standing in the recital hall at Pecknail Music. You all have probably seen my video there. Different mouthpiece, testing out mouthpieces that they purchased for me. And if you haven't, see it. I will post the link for you so that you can get a chance to see that. Right now, they've actually asked me to critique a couple of their reeds. They gave me about 3 reeds. One of them is I think it's pronounced Dario or Dario. Please feel free to correct me in the comments. Feel free to correct my pronunciation in the comments, or feel free to reply to this video and correct me in it. One of them is a Dario or Dario Select Jazz. The other one is an Eastman. All of these are threes, number 3 reeds, and the one I normally use is the Rico Frederick Hemke. I use Frederick Hemke Ricos. So I figured I'd do a test. I noticed that the Dario reed was, or the Select Jazz, I noticed the Select Jazz reed was like maybe a millimeter taller than the Frederick Hemke, and I noticed that not only was the Eastman maybe a millimeter or 2 taller than the Jazz Select or the Select Jazz, but the cut was slightly different, as well as since it was up against a black surface, I could see more black through the tip of the Eastman. So maybe the tip of the Eastman might have been a little bit thinner or tapered off differently. But I will be testing playing them just for you all. Now, I'm currently doing this on a Cannonball Big Bell Stone Series alto saxophone, dark nickel, gold-plated keys, tiger eye buttons. And I'm using a Pecknail Performance mouthpiece. Now, they don't make this mouthpiece anymore. It's had to be my favorite mouthpiece of all time, and I wish they still made them. But this is what I normally sound like. That's what I normally sound like, because that's what I normally play on. Now, I'm going to switch it up. Now, also I'm using a Rofner Dark ligature. I'm going to change it up, reading it. Let's see, Dario, or Dario, since it's D apostrophe Addario. And this is not just number 3, it's a number 3M, number 3 medium. And this is their Select Jazz. Let's see the Select Jazz with them. I'm gonna put the reed on. Let's get it sufficiently wet. Soak it up with spit. Blah. And this is going to be the first time I have ever played on this reed. Not just this name brand reed, but this reed in particular. Never played on their stuff. Never played on their stuff before. Apparently, from what I've heard, they're supposed to be a direct competitor with Rico. And I've grown up on Ricos myself, but without losing too much air. It's a little bit of a fuller tone. They call it a jazz. Here, let me back off of this. Maybe I got too much reed on there. Maybe I got the reed up too high. Let's bring this down some. And play around with where you put your reed on the mouthpiece. Sometimes a millimeter up or down, right or left can make vast difference. Interesting. Now, when I brought it down, I did start to hear a little bit more air in it. I did start to hear a little bit more of an airier tone. But I will admit the tone is kind of full. It's very, very full tone. So if you're somebody who you like to have the edgier rock kind of tone to you, this is one that you actually might want to avoid for that sound. However, if you're the kind of person who you like, let's say you're into maybe smooth jazz, possibly, ballads, the real soft kind of ballads, this might be a good choice for you if you do that kind of thing. Now, going to the Eastman. Eastman's a new company. I'll admit, Premium French cane. Premium French cane. This is an Eastman. And this is their Esperio number 3. I can feel the difference in the cut. I should have taken a side-by-side picture of these this way, because this, I can see a difference in how it's almost like as if it's more rounded out coming this way. Let's see. But now Eastman, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of you all might have already heard of Eastman before me. I never heard of Eastman reeds until somebody handed me this, until one of the guys here at Picknell handed me one of these to try it out. So this is going to be a brand new experience for me, most definitely. Make sure I put it on there the same way. That's another thing, just to let you know how I put on my reeds, since I'm switching reeds back and forth on the same mouthpiece. Now these are all brand new reeds on one mouthpiece. Even the Frederick Hemke that I normally use, that one, that was a brand new reed. James handed it to me just for the test. And the people here picked up great people. You want to come here. If you are in Greenville, South Carolina, and you're looking at something for your horn, this is the place to be, most definitely. Ooh. For number 3, this feels harder than the others. It's taking more of my air. I think it might be how that thing slants down or how it tapers off. It's almost like as if, honestly enough, it feels like as if it's 2 reeds. It feels like as if it's like amalgamation of two reeds. Like there's a thin reed and a thick reed on here at the same time. Let me see if I can change this up some. I'm gonna what I did before. Well, no, let's bring it up. Let's bring this up some. Give it like a couple of millimeters forward instead of a couple of millimeters back. And make sure. Yeah. Yeah. For number three, this feels like a harder read. I would recommend this for somebody if you're doing classical music. Definitely use this one. I would not use this as a jazz player. Um, there is it has a harder feel to it, and it's going to work your jaw. It's going to work your jaw, you know. In fact, if you want something to kind of make your jaw stronger, I would say use this in practice and then use something else in, actual performance. The tone that it generates is much better for classical. I would not recommend it for jazz, but it's not a bad read. I think me personally, I think whatever is good or bad is really dependent upon the person that's using it. If you can take something that's normally bad and make it sound good, I mean, like, for example, some people say that metal mouthpieces are better. Some people say that rubber mouthpieces are better, and some people say that plastic mouthpieces are, well, for lack of a better word, and some people say that plastic mouthpieces are crap. Me, I'm like, if you can get a good sound without having to spend an excessive amount of money, do it. Do it, most definitely. By the way, the song I was using is "Love Isn't Love" by Commission. Yeah, come on, Rush, put this on. I'm going back to the Frederick Hemke that you normally hear me play on. The reason why I like the Frederick Hemkes is they give me the full tone without losing too much air. At least they do that for me. It could be different for somebody else, most definitely. But experiment around, play around with something, see what works for you. The Eastman doesn't work for me. The Dario, it's not really my thing. But they are things I would recommend for different, different practices, whichever one that you go for. I don't play that much classical. I used to when I was in high school. I used to play a little bit of, stuff like that. With what I do now, the whole gospel funk jazz, what I use, that works for me. And it took me a lot of work to get there.